Hi guys, my name is Isabel Prito, and this is my presentation on addressing the food insecurity crisis among the elderly population. So, what is food security versus insecurity? The World Health Organization defines food security as when all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. This really depends on four conditions: the physical availability of food, economic and physical access to food, food use, and maximization of consumption, and stability at all times. When one of these conditions is compromised, the individual or household can be defined as food insecure. Food insecurity is a global health concern. It is prevalent among low income countries, but we also see it in high income countries such as America. America is one of the richest nations in the world, yet as of 2023, 13.5% of all American households faced food insecurity. This is an increase from the 10.5% that we saw in 2019 pre-COVID. So food insecurity affects all age groups, but we do see a prevalence in the aging and elderly individuals in our communities. So as of 2022, 11.5% of adults aged 65 years or older were considered food insecure. That is roughly 7 million Americans. And as you can see from this graph over here, there was a sharp increase from, again, pre-pandemic to post-pandemic. Pre-pandemic, we are seeing only about 6.9% of food insecure older adults versus the 11.5% that we're seeing now. This is due mostly to poor overall health, physical comorbidities, which is two medical conditions simultaneously existing, limited family support, and low income. All these things reduce motivation to be physically active and to maintain a nutritious and healthy lifestyle. This is linked to an increase in physical disabilities, muscle weakness, mental health issues such as depression and anxiety, and an overall reduced quality of life. So what is the intervention? Well, Gomes developed an e-health intervention through the use of a TV app. What is an e-health intervention? It is the use of information and communication technologies, also known as ICTs, for health. Among all available ICTs, television is the device that is mostly used by older people. This is why they chose it. So essentially the app the goal of it was to increase nutrition and healthy eating, to promote low-cost recipes, to promote physical exercise programs, and they did this through the use of questionnaires. This was a pilot study. So a pilot study is a preliminary research investigation that focuses on the feasibility, methodology, and potential outcomes of a larger scale study. So the main objectives of this 12-week home-based intervention program was to focus on improving dietary and physical activities through the use of the interactive TV app, and to then assess those changes at the 3-month follow-up. So we can kind of see those goals over here and the progress that it took. So this experiment took place in Portugal. It was conducted with 31 participants. Over here, we kind of have why we have the variables of the participants that were chosen, such as being age 60 years or older, food insecure, able to have they have a cable TV and electricity. The goal of this e-health intervention was to primarily provide education on the importance of a healthy diet and physical activity, to demonstrate that a low household income is not necessarily barred from a healthier lifestyle, and that it is possible to have a healthy diet and to practice physical activity at a low cost, and to also provide motivation for adopting a healthy diet and physical activity to reduce the risk of disease, especially among older individuals. So how did this work? Well, the pillars of the program content were really divided into different sections, and they were based on themes. So the nutrition and diet tips and the low-cost healthy recipes were really developed around items that a lot of older individuals would have in their house, such as vegetables, water, milk, bread, and the tips were based on explanations of the benefits and harms of eating certain foods and how those foods either increase or reduce the risk of disease. Um, the program, the exercise program, its main focus was just that there was physical activity in the home at least 3 times a week for 30 minutes. All this program content was released on one specific TV channel via the interactive TV app and delivered on a schedule basis. To increase the participants' motivation, the team members kept in close contact with them. So they called them, they texted them, they sent a lot of reminders throughout the app, and there was also a questionnaire that was sent out on a weekly basis, and the individuals could answer it using TV remote control buttons. So, what were the outcomes of this e-health intervention? Well, it did significantly reduce food insecurity by the 3-month mark. So again, data was collected at the baseline, which was pre-intervention, and then collected again 3 months after the intervention. This showed that most participants who maintained food insecurity status, so ones who were not completely moved out of food insecurity status, were moved at least to low-level food insecurity. As for the quality of life, there is no impact on the EQ5D3L, which is the European Quality of Life Assessment, but there was a significant improvement for the FACIT-F scores, which is Functional Assessment of Chronic Illness and Therapy Fatigue. There also was significant improvement to the Health Assessment Questionnaire, Elderly Mobility Scales, EMS, and just a regular increase of exercise practice. Again, another thing that this pilot study was testing was feasibility and accessibility. So while there was a slight decrease in app use around the 3-month mark, it was not substantial. So even though there were participants who reported that they had little interest in e-health interventions at the beginning, actually showed significant increase of interest by the 3-month mark. So obviously this result justifies future investment in e-health innovation for this population. Again, here we can see some of the results. So a sharp decrease in food insecurity, an increase in the FACIT-F, increase in physical function, and overall increase in days that they were physically active. So what were some of the limitations of this study, though? Well, recruitment was restricted to primarily a health clinic or health clinic center. So that means only individuals who had access to healthcare were studied. There was also 21 individuals who were excluded because they had technology problems with the installation of the TV app. And that's something researchers really want to address in the future, so that no individuals are excluded on the basis of technology problems. Again, the 3 months is not really a long enough time to study long-term effects or to analyze long-term effects, so it was a short follow-up period, and there was an absence of a control group. So kind of the non-randomized design of the study may have impacted results. Along with this, it was a pilot study, which means that there was a portion of missing data for almost all outcomes. But on the positive side, no participants were lost from the beginning to the follow-up period. So this retention rate strongly contrasts with the 45% dropout rate of the Van Duren study, which was another study using older individuals and e-health. So there was reduced TV app usage and program usage, And in order to combat that in the future, researchers want to improve the monitoring process. So therefore, they have a closer idea of the participants' compliance with the physical activity and the healthy eating status. Overall, though, the findings of the pilot study demonstrate that using eHealth is a highly feasible and well accepted approach to improving diet, physical activity, and fatigue while reducing food insecurity among older individuals. This is the first eHealth intervention, really, to effectively address health concerns in this population. The program led to significant improvements in physical function, functional status, performance, mobility, and consistency in exercising. So overall, it showed great potential for a full-scale study, just based on the data that they were able to collect. My sources, yeah. My main study was a home-based e-health intervention for an older adult population with food insecurity. And that's all. Thanks, guys.